Hey everyone, Joe G with Touch of the Brush Model Weathering, and welcome to Dean Ferris's Oregon Joint Line and End Scale. This was a fantastic layout to operate, and his layout was featured in Model Railroad's Craftsman October 2021 issue. It was a featured layout, and it features the Great Northern and Northern Pacific Railroad as they team up on this freelance Eastern Oregon route. Also, he has Union Pacific, Spokane, Portland, Seattle, and even Santa Fe, Western Pacific motive power can be seen on this layout. And here's a quick walkthrough of his entire layout, and it really doesn't do justice in the magazine compared to seeing his layout in person, but it is massive. And the layout is I believe the room is a 28 by 25 foot room, and he uses code 55 track. Maximum grade is 2.2%, and his minimum radius is 22 inches. And you can see all the different yards he uses. He has the Great Northern Dayville yard, which I operated, Northern Pacific Monument Yard. You come around at different spots. There's the ONNE I think it's a Scanlon yard, and that's a logging railroad.
Road guys aside and explain to them how we do our track warrants and everything. It's a little different. It's not exactly prototypical, but it gets the trains across the roads. And then the car tabs, I'll take the guys who end up with kind of the more industry or yard and go through the car tabs in depth. But again, fortunately, most of you guys have been here, or at least sound like somewhat familiar with how we operate here. So the switches are pretty much any yard or backtracks or hand throws. Behind Dave over there, there's a toggle switch on the fascia. That the main line switches, the passing siding switches are on those toggles. And dispatcher does not control them. Dispatcher doesn't control any switches. Let's see. So not much paperwork at this layout. This is your train card. It has your DCC consist and where you're going to and what work you're going to do along the way. If you get lost, like this one says, on duty at Steens. Well, where the hell is Steens? So if you look around the layout, are these things? This is your direction finder. So this says Steens. And then this says Steens. And this one's going to Antelope. Well, where's Antelope? Well, I don't know, but I know it's that way. So.
And so we can see here the layout. It's really massive, and the operations was a lot of fun. And Dean was showing me some of the yard. This is the Northern Pacific yard, and then the connection here into the Great Northern yard, Dayville yard, which I worked. To the left was Monument Yard. This is Dayville, and here we're setting out a bunch of cars for the grain elevator. This is the staging yard. He has a huge amount of trains, and it's just I didn't know he even had a steam engine there. I think he has it one steam engine once in a while, but there's a camera right there, and my stomach was blocking the view half the time. Some of the guys operating some of the trains. You can see the little pieces on top of the cars. He has them that's marked with shapes and colors to represent where it needs to go for their yard or for a certain train to be blocked in the yard. He also uses pushers on some of these trains up to 2.2% grade. You can see he's a pusher here going over the on the trestle. In between my work, I was filming, and we have some trains coming into my yard, and they have to shove back. I have to add a caboose or a Pullman passenger car, or I was helping some others with their yard work just a little bit, and even though it's technically not supposed to, but I helped them just get the idea what needs to be done. And you can see he uses a lot of Alcos and EMD units, a little older, early generation stuff. Those are one of my favorite trains. It's the Santa Fe mixed with some Western Pacific power. I mean, I could have had fun. I know I would have had fun running a train around the main line, but I had such a great time switching the yard, and it's such an important work. Really getting the trains blocked and ready to go for folks to run them. Can't run trains without a train being built in the yard first, you know. Dean is always working on improving his scenery, and his standards have exceeded and changed and gotten obviously better. Again, the more you improve on something, the better you want everything. You want to set that to your standard, and so he's going to be redoing a lot of scenery work, as it said in the article. I don't know what scenes he'll be redoing, but be interesting to see later on what he accomplishes. He does have a YouTube channel. You can check out his YouTube channel. He has a passenger train he was running. I mean, he's a layout owner, so, you know, it's only right for him to run a passenger train and hold us in the sidings and stuff. That was my yard there, and that's Will and Joe. They fun operators. Joe works for the Fort Worth and Western Railroad as a conductor, and I don't know, I'm not sure Will does, but man, we had a good time. Will was in charge of the monument yard here, and I was right next to him in the other yard, and we had a good time working together and trying to get everything accomplished on our switch list and scheduling. The O&E is the Oregon and Northeastern. That's the logging railroad. You can see some of the scenery work. It's incredible here. I think he said this is the tightest curve, or the horseshoe, because it goes all the way around. There's a Northern Pacific train coming in through the yard. This is my yard. That's my yard power. I had to switch from Great Northern locomotives to Northern Pacific. We had a couple of engines die on us, so I had two really, really loud Northern Pacific RS3s, and it's only worth it because RS3s are pretty loud when they're working the yard in real life. So it was interesting. There's Dean running his passenger train, messing us up. He works at BNSF. I forget what he does for BNSF, but he's high up in the company. But he's just like a little kid when it comes to this stuff. It's really fun. Him and his wife are such great hosts, and they did it was just a lot of fun. Here's more of all the trains and staging. He has mains of way trains, wreck trains, and it looks like he even has another passenger train. It looks like a carnival circus train sitting there too. There's the little helix, and there's another part of the layout here. Some of the logging. So it was a lot of fun, this layout, and it's really incredible for both layouts to do stuff like this. And I really recommend anybody out there go out and operate layouts and have fun doing it. Find your nearest operating groups and do it. It's a lot of fun, and I totally recommend it. Anyway, guys, this is Joe with you, Touch the Brush Model Weathering. I hope you enjoyed Dean's layout. And again, check out his YouTube for more of his updates on his layout. Again, guys, take care and have a great week.